well, it is time. We will get into our Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. Remember, this is brought to you by North Texas Helpful Honda dealers. They want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more. So, fellas and lady fellas, here is your opportunity. Whatever you want to ask Matt Stepp, he is here till about 12:30.
Yeah.
And we will go. So we have a couple of questions going on here. Um, let's see. We will start off with Tanner wants to know who you think the team most likely to make it back to a state championship game is.
That's a good. I would say it's either Carthage or Jim Ned. Like Jim Ned is loaded next year. Like they were a year early. Like this 2021 is supposed to be their year, really.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they've got. I think their question. I think we got their questionnaire in already, and they've got like 18 starters back or something insane like that. All their guys were juniors pretty much last year. All their skill guys for sure. And then Carthage, well, I'm just
The
gonna
train.
really going out on a big limb there. Yeah, just gonna say Carthage. So that's probably the two that are most. But I mean, there'll probably be a lot of the usual suspects again. I mean, wouldn't surprise me to see Austin Westlake back there. Alito's gonna Alito. Denton Ryan loses a lot on the offensive side of the ball, but they've got, I believe, 8 starters back on defense as well. So they're going to be really hard to score points on. And, if you can't score points against them, you're probably not going to beat them. So there's several. I think when the magazine comes out, I think you'll see a lot of the usual suspects in those number one rankings because a lot of them bring a lot of talent back.
Absolutely. I mean, heck, I think you could even throw a South Lake Carroll in there, considering they've got Ewers back and a young defense that learned a lot last year. So
Yeah, yeah,
it
they
would
were
be
really young last year too. I mean, when we got their questionnaire last year, that they only had one starter on defense back. So, um, got to replace a couple of key playmakers on offense, but you got the man back there in Quinn Ewers. So, would not surprise me to see the Dragons as well.
Yes, I agree. All right, let's go with. Are you going to become an Ontario high school hockey insider now? That one coming from our good friend Tony Blaylock.
No, I do. I'm really not a hockey guy. My wife's not a hockey girl. That's weird because she's Canadian, but she just really doesn't like hockey. And there's really not any of that going on here because of the strict rules that they have up here. There's not a lot of. I mean, you really can't do much of anything here. Like I think the NHL teams are playing in a bubble, but I don't think the youth leagues are playing or anything. There's a hockey arena literally like 2 blocks from my house, and there hasn't been anyone there from what I've been told in a year, literally. So don't
That's
think so.
crazy. So I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with no.
it's just yeah, probably not. I mean, I don't like hockey. It's not really an enjoyable game for me. So no,
That's fair. To
hard
each their
pass.
own. Um, I don't know if you are allowed to say much on this, but Daniel Agnew asked, "Who is your favorite to get the Odessa High coaching job?"
That's a really difficult job. I don't envy anyone who's going after that job. I believe they reposted it this week because they did not get um, the quality of applicant that they would have liked. So, Godspeed to whoever gets that job because they are going to have big challenges. It's not an easy place to win. They don't have a lot of talent. Just that side of town traditionally has not had a lot of talent in Odessa. Typically in Odessa, the talent has been on the west side of town or the east side of town, which is where Permian is. Odessa High is on the west side of town, and traditionally that they just haven't had a lot of talent over there. So, um, my guess is it's going to be one of two things. They're either going to hire a young guy who's desperate to get that first head coaching job and will just take whatever, or it's going to be somebody on their way out who's just looking to make some really good money before they retire and to get a head coach's salary. And they're not going to get a big name. They're
Mm-hmm.
not. It's just not an attractive enough job. So, if I'm a Broncos fan, I would not get my hopes up on some big name that is going to get the job. So,
Right. Um, a little bit of college. If you don't have an opinion on this, I think I can handle this one. But it was, who do you think has the edge to be QB1 this year at Texas? Casey Thompson or Hudson Card? If Hudson Card does not win the spot, do you think that he moves to wide receiver like he did at Lake Travis? Do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, so I got a couple of buddies who are on the UT beat, and they told me that the previous coaching staff was really high on Hudson Card, like that he was the guy, like he was going to be the guy next year. But the new with the new regime coming in, I mean, you never know. So I don't know. I mean, I thought Casey Thompson played really well in the bowl game. I thought he did a great job. I
Mm-hmm.
thought pushing the ball downfield, I thought he did all the things that you want to see. So I really don't know. I mean, it's kind of up in the air with the new regime. So as far as Card moving to receiver, I mean, I guess it's a possibility. I mean, I think it just depends on what Hudson Card's mindset is if he doesn't win the QB job. Is he a good enough athlete to play in the slot and play receiver
Mm-hmm.
in the Big 12? Absolutely. But I mean, does he really want to play quarterback? And if he really wants to play quarterback, well, what do you think is going to happen if he doesn't win the job? He's probably going to go into the portal. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of questions to be answered there.
I do too. I think people got really, really high on Hudson Card when they saw just a few weeks back that Sam Ellinger was going out there and kind of training with him. And he even said some really good things about
Mm,
Card and his arm. And that was a big deal because you've got Lake Travis, you've got Westlake, and typically they're not going to complement each other there. So that was big. But I agree. I
yeah.
think that we don't know what Sark is going to do. So it's gonna come down to
This,
fall camp.
yeah. In the spring, I mean, I don't, I don't even. I mean, I should probably ask Shahan or I mean, I don't even know if the colleges are going to do like a normal spring this year. I know the high schools, at least, are in the Metroplex, are planning on having spring football on a
Mm-hmm.
normal basis, but they start their spring season a little bit later. The high schools typically don't do spring ball until May. Um, I think the colleges usually do spring ball right around in March here, right around spring break is when they get started. So
Yeah,
I don't
they'll
know if they're
usually
going to
have
push
the
spring back a little bit later or
inter squad scrimmages are usually right after spring break, orange and white for Texas or,
yeah.
any of that. So I don't know, especially with
So I
the
don't know if they're going to try to
recruiting
have
stuff
spring
being all
practice.
weird.
Yeah, it's all still weird in the college ranks. So it'll be interesting. If I had to if I had to guess, I would maybe think Thompson just because Sark's known for a little more of a pro style offense. But I would lean to Thompson just a little bit, but I don't really know. It's TBD.
I agree. All right, let's go with what is the worst car you've ever owned? This one coming in from
The
Reese.
worst car.
Mhm.
Um, it was probably my first car. I mean, it was a beater. Um, I paid for, I didn't grow up with a lot of money. I had to work, you know, I had to work at Whataburger and save up enough money for my own car over a summer, and it was a it was a 1985 Buick LeSabre, and it was a
Yes.
tank.
Like
That
this
thing would
long.
float. Oh my gosh! And that was my first. Still a new driver, trying to learn how to park that thing, and it just did. I paid I think I paid $1,000 for it, and it wasn't the greatest car in the world. I didn't really like taking it on the highway too much, and it just wasn't a very good car. But I mean, it was my car. I paid for it, and it got me to and from school and to and from basketball tournaments and stuff like that. But it was not luxurious by any means. It had the manual crank windows and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But hey, it got me to where I needed to go. So, but I mean, it wasn't the most reliable vehicle either. Put it that way. There was often repairs that needed to be made.
Yeah. See, I've only had two cars. I had a car that I had through high school into college, and then I bought a new car. So my first car was a 2003 Kia Rio named Rita. No automatic locks, no automatic windows. I mean, it was bare bones. My dad finally got me a new stereo system to put in there for Christmas one time because the one I had
Oh
literally only had a
yeah.
radio. It didn't even have a cassette tape player or a CD
Oh,
player. So It was
No, you can't
bare
have that.
bones.
Is that a girl thing naming their vehicles? Because my wife names her cars too. Is that a chick thing?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I've ever met a girl that
Okay.
hasn't named her car.
Okay.
So
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. That's
the
not
other
definitely
thing,
not a guy thing. I've never named.
your car
I think maybe
or
the only thing
trucks.
yeah, I think the only thing I've ever named it was maybe POS, but that's about it.
The other thing about Rita, real fast, is she had an issue with her muffler, and there was something inside of it that wasn't right, so it made kind of like a Chewbacca sound, like a. And so in
Mm-mm.
Llano, all the guys had big old jacked up trucks and they would blow the black smoke and stuff. And so anytime I was in a drive through line at our Chicken Express, Rita was so loud that the drive through people would be looking up for one of the guy's big old trucks. And then here I would come in my little 2003 red Kia Rio all the way up there.
There's
It was
Pickle.
so bad.
Everybody knew when Pickle was coming to get her number one combo.
The Dauber special. All right.
Mm.
Let's see. So, there was another one about football in here somewhere. Oh, when will we start seeing high school football schedules start coming out for the 2021 season coming up?
A few of them have already started to come out. There's a few kind of trickling out. I had a couple of coaches texting me today looking for games. I think a lot of coaches are still trying to get their schedules together. Um, Typically I mean, they'll probably come out here and there over the next couple of months. We won't really start working on collecting them until after the magazine is done.
Mm-hmm.
That's really when I start to get with Jerry and try to start hammering the coaches on sending the schedules. I mean, right now, we're this was the first week of magazine questionnaires that came through, and so we're knee deep in the magazine now. So this is not a lot of time to hunt down schedules at the moment. So what I'll do probably is after Memorial Day, when we've put the magazine to bed, kind of that whole month of June is when I'll start to really collect the schedules. But we won't get them fully. We're not going to put them up on the website one by one. Usually we do like one massive upload, so you
Mm-hmm.
probably won't see them uploaded on the website till later in the summer. But I mean, if you monitor it on social media, you'll see schedules coming. I know Longview put their schedule out the other day. I've seen like 3 or 4 other big ones that have come out. So you'll kind of see them trickle out here and there. But as far as on our end, we won't have them up on the website as my daughter heads off to work. She works at Bath and Body Works at the
Nice.
Cambridge Mall. So go to Bath and Body Works and get all of your smell good stuff. But anyway, you won't see them on the website probably till later in the summer.
We're gonna send Bath and Body Works their invoice after the show for that great plug.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep.
All right. What is
Make
your
the check payable to cash.
Yes, please. Ryan Smiga asked, "What is your favorite Canadian food?"
I don't like poutine. Just not a fan. Um, there's really not a lot of. I mean, Canadian food is really like ours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other than poutine. Um, I guess you can find some different breakfast foods. Their corned beef and hash is it's a big deal up here. I'm not a big. I'm not really a big Canadian food guy. Other than I like just my normal stuff. I will say that in Canada, especially in Toronto, because Toronto is such a international city, that the food choices are limitless there because of the. I mean, you name the country, there's a restaurant that serves that country's food in Toronto. Toronto is very much like New York in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd say it's almost like a little smaller version of New York in a lot of ways. Cambridge is not as big; it's 150,000 people. But then there's Kitchener, which is about 6 miles away, which is like 230,000 people. So it's a decent sized area that I'm in. So I've got some good options here. The one thing about Canada that I'll say that I've noticed is that the pizza here is awesome. Like I can go anywhere and get an awesome slice of pizza, just about anywhere that would blow pretty much anything in Texas away.
Is it
The
like a
pizza
New
here
York
is
thin
incredible.
crust style?
Uh, that there are some more thin crust places. It really varies. It's more. I'd say it's more New York's ish than
Then
you would
yeah.
see anywhere. Than normal pizza, but It's really good. There's a lot of really good. There's literally a pizza place. I live in like a downtown area, and there's a
Mhm.
pizza place like a block away where I go. I hit it up every Friday and get a slice of pizza and a can of soda for like $4. So
That's
I just
awesome.
walk over there and get a pizza and walk back to my house.
All right. This is from Aaron Flynn. If you could be in one movie without dying or anything negative happening to you, what movie would you be in? So I guess it could
Mm,
be like a shoot 'em up bang bang movie, but you don't have to worry
yeah,
about dying.
yeah. Probably like Fast and the Furious. Like that was like when I was a kid. That was like when it. 'Cause I mean, I wasn't a kid. I was like in college when the first one came out, and I thought that was a really cool movie. And I've always wanted to be able. I think the stunt driving is pretty cool. So probably that one. I can't believe that franchise is still going though. That thing is
Yeah.
they've gotten about all the blood out of that turnip they could because they've gotten a lot out of that thing. So like I remember going to the movies and seeing the very first one when it
First
came
one.
out. And I think I was like 21 or 22. And it's like 20 years ago. Like I'm
Go.
I'm I'm 41 now, and I think I was like a junior in college when the first one came out. So me and my buddies went.
I would say I don't know if I can think of a movie right off the top of my head, but TV series that's been going on for a long time. I've always been a big Law and Order person, like Law and Order SVU. Like I would love to play either detective or lawyer. Everyone always said I'd be a good lawyer
Oh
because I can
yeah.
argue with a brick wall, but
hmm Yeah, my
so
wife
that would
likes
probably
those
be me.
shows too. So yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Yeah. But now me, I want to be like something fun, something cool.
Yeah, that you wouldn't get to do in like that you couldn't like I could go be a lawyer if I wanted to go do that, but you can't necessarily go chase bad guys in cars.
Yeah, like bad, Lamborghinis or whatever all the cool cars they drive. So yeah,
So, all right, we got to
yeah,
let's do two more here. How did Stepp and Mrs. Stepp meet? And I know that this revolves around our work.
yeah. I met her at a football game, a high school football game in Abilene.
That's
Yeah.
the most
So,
on-brand thing that could have
mm-hmm,
happened.
mm-hmm. Yep. So, yep, we met at a football game. So, just thought I was good looking, I guess. So, go
So,
Eagles.
I was just gonna say, you and Miss Stepp met at Texas high school football, and so did Aaron and Will, which they talked about last Friday.
Yes, Texas high school football bringing lovers together.
All right, and before we let you go, this is a pretty good ender here. This one's from Mies. If you were tasked with writing a Texas high school football movie, what kind of plot would you go with?
It would have to be something about a transfer, right? Like a big time transfer and a UIL state executive hearing. Something about that. Like maybe I don't know, the star quarterback transfers to his arch rival because he's got like a big time family problem and he really legitimately transferred, but the coach didn't think it was legit and tried to fight it. And then the star quarterback moves across town to the team that was typically terrible. Hey, let's just use Odessa for an example, right? Like,
Well,
since Permian's
exactly.
already been an example, right? Let's just say Permian's star quarterback had a family issue and had to move across town to Odessa High. Permian's coaches didn't want him to move, and he gets cleared by the UIL and leads Odessa High to a state championship. That would be like the underdog transfer, underdog story,
I was
all
going to
that.
say,
So
you've
we'll
got
do
to,
that.
there has to be some sort of underdog theme for it to be a Texas high school
Yeah,
football
for
movie.
sure. Because I mean, in reality, I mean, we so rarely see like an underdog in Texas high school football like go like even like Jim Ned was kind of an underdog, but we knew Jim Ned was going to be good. Like you don't
Hmm.
see a team that we're predicting to go 1-9 go off and win a state championship. That just doesn't
Right.
happen. So that would be you'd have to throw in some real magical underdog story where like somebody was just came out of nowhere and won a state championship.
I think another cool aspect, and probably what would be my choice, is something that focuses a lot more on a coach than a player. Because I feel like a lot of times it's all about the players. Like, it's about the Friday Night Lights. Obviously, it's about the coach, and you get a little bit of that, but a lot of it's about the players. I think it would be really cool to see a whole one through like a coaching perspective. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, because the coaches are there. Players, in essence, the game is about the players, but their shelf life
Mhm.
in high school is very short. The very best players, 3 years is all you get to see them play varsity football. The rarest cases you get, and even then, even the rare ones, it's 4 years max. I mean, you have coaches that stay at places 20, 30 years sometimes. So they're, like Gordon Wood's been dead for 20 years or so. But
Mhm.
when I hear Brownwood, I still think Gordon Wood, right? So some
Exactly.
coaches can be, they can be those iconic figures that they last throughout history. I think it's very similar to college basketball, where the players are in and out, and the coaches are the more constant figures
Mhm.
there.
Exactly. Well, that'll do it. Again, that was brought to you by North Texas Honda dealers. They want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more. Stepp, really good to see you, man.
Good to see you. I will see you guys. I think I'm gonna kind of. I think I told Pickle this off the air. I think I'm planning on coming back into Texas for a weekend in May. Maybe get out and watch some 7-on-7. Fingers crossed that we get to have 7-on-7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to come back and spend a few days in Texas then. Looking forward to it. Miss you guys a lot, but I'm having a good time in Canada, and luckily with the technology, I'm still able to be connected. And North Texas Honda Dealers also sponsors our coaching changes page. So
Mhm.
check that out as well, as the coaching carousel is busy this off season.
It is definitely moving. Well, perfect. We look forward to seeing you again, obviously, in person.